This is a picture of our first test of a continuous oil filtering system. At the bottom there's a reservoir of clean oil, and that gets pumped up through a small peristaltic pump and then on into the intake at the top of the vacuum pump. And from there, the hose coming out of the vacuum pump at the bottom curves up so that the top of it is at the same level as the oil in the pump. Anything higher than that and it leaks out into the filter, which is just a tightly rolled up paper towel roll and then cut into 2-inch sections and then stuffed into a yogurt container with space at the bottom, and then there's a hole at the bottom. And so once it goes through that, it absorbs all the water and any other impurities and then falls back down into the oil reservoir and goes back around. It really worked well. There's just not enough volume that way. We got our freeze dryer in August of 2017. Even before we bought it, I'd done the research on the vacuum pump oil replacement and the cleaning of the pump. And I wanted to make sure I minimized those. I was sure that keeping the water out of the oil was the key to keeping the pump clean and the oil in good condition. I saw that other people had various filtering systems, and so I thought I would try one that would maximize what I was after. Again, keeping the water out and the oil clean so that I wouldn't have to clean the pump as much. This video is from when we cleaned the vacuum pump after batch number 46. We'd had the freeze dryer for about 4.5 months, and we had opened and cleaned the vacuum pump after batch 12. So this is the first time it had been cleaned in 34 batches. Soon after batch 12, we started using a little peristaltic pump to pump the oil through and through a filter. At first, I just used a funnel in the intake and actually refilled it and let it drain out while it was running. I used the tube on the outfeed at the level of the oil so that it would never run low. And I simply poured it in and it came out the other side and went through the filter. It worked pretty good, but it was impractical to change the oil more than 3-4 quarts worth during a run of freeze drying. So my first pump was a little peristaltic pump that ran continuously while it was running. But that only put through a few quarts also. It wasn't great because it just didn't move enough oil. But it did do a great job filtering the oil. It still made quite a difference. I could tell that after I'd opened it up after batch 46. It was quite a bit cleaner than it had been after the 12th batch with no filtering and no oil change. But it still wasn't good enough. So somewhere around batch 63 we changed to a Wix water separator filter and a 12-volt fuel pump. It did a good job in separating the water and having clean oil go back through, but it wasn't reusable and it only lasted 3 or 4 batches before it was saturated with water. So next, after batch 100, we cleaned out the pump and then changed over to a reusable filter made by goldenrod. That thing has been great because we can dry out the filter elements and reuse them. We've been running that for almost 100 batches now. We opened it up once after batch number 156 to change the oil seal in the back of the pump. It had been leaking for a really long time, but it was really slow, so I didn't worry about it. But I wanted to have a chance to see inside the pump too. In the next video I'll show what it looked like on the inside when we opened it up to change the seal out. It was quite impressive.